Yo, I guess we have to figure out
an intro.
an intro. Ooh. What's good, guys? Ooh, I yelled in that. We are back together with a new podcast. You know how we are. We're constantly obsessed with all things ghost related, haunted, just ridiculous. So we figured, let's just start a podcast.
It's haunted out here, man. It's haunted out here. That's
Yes.
the name of the joint because it's haunted out here.
It's haunted out here.
Everywhere you go, it's haunted out here. Even if it's not haunted, it's haunted.
It's most likely haunted.
Because, if it's old, it's haunted. A lot of different energies coming through and dying off.
Mm-hmm.
And every city got a long history of something.
What is haunted? Why? Is it just death, or can there be just straight up energy?
Mainly really energy.
Yeah.
Because places be haunted and nobody really died there. It was just a lot of people there all the time. And then, the energy stays in there.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and then if anything's old, I'm like, yo,
It's haunted.
it's haunted over here.
So with this show, we're going to just focus on different cities and talk about the haunted places within those cities. This is the first episode, so we don't have any listener stories, but we do eventually want to have listener stories for each city. So if you live in any major city, or even not major city, any state really, send us your personal haunted stories and we will tell them at the end of each episode.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. But today's city is Cincinnati.
WKRP in the Cincinnati.
Tony and I actually went to Cincinnati not too long ago. It was a few months ago. It felt like a while ago, but
it was early in the year. It was cold still.
Yeah.
Not freezing, but it was still cold. So I want to
guess.
say it was like early 2019.
I guess so. But this year just went by so fast.
Man, it's breezing.
That I don't know.
It's breezing.
And we hit up a few haunted spots, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about two of the haunted spots that we hit up. Besides the hauntedness, Cincinnati's pretty dope.
Cincinnati, man, I was impressed.
Yeah.
That was my first time being there. I feel like I went through Cincinnati before. I've been to Cincinnati before, but this time I really got to look around, explore, get a feel for the city.
Right.
And because we was always, when you go to the city and you got time, rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
Rent a car and just drive around, look around, taste, dabble, get a visual, get a feel. And that's what we did in Cincinnati.
It was so fun.
And what I like about Midwest cities is that they're old.
Yes.
They're old cities, and so, there's a lot of that. A lot of those old visuals, a lot of gentrification as usual. But
Right. But right next to the old stuff.
Right next to the old stuff.
So there'll be something new next to something haunted.
Right.
So, speaking of old, I'm going to talk about the first spot in Ohio. I guess it's still considered Cincinnati because it's really close by. A lot of these places aren't going to be exactly within the city, but near the city. It's a place called the Darby Lee Cemetery. It says nestled in the woods of Delhi, overlooking the Ohio River. The Darby Lee Cemetery is a small, with only about 20 grave sites there, family cemetery with a big history. And the oldest cemeteries in the township. Most of the people in the cemetery are members of the Darby and Lee families. Among them are Peter Lee, who was a Revolutionary War soldier.
Oh, that's mad old.
Yo, Revolutionary War, I feel like there's a lot of those soldiers
That's mad old.
Haunted.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
the high socks and the pointed shoes with the buckle.
the pants.
The pants.
You have those
The
pants.
Revolutionary Warfares, man. Old school.
I feel like those soldiers haunt a lot of places because you always hear about that. I'd seen a soldier. During the days of the Underground Railroad, a man named Henry Darby, who owned the property at the time, would use its location on the hill by the river to signal escaping slaves. I swear I can read. On nights when it was safe for slaves fleeing the south to cross the river to Ohio, he would light a lantern with green tinted glass and play his fiddle from atop of the hill. This was the all clear signal for the slaves to cross. When Henry died, he was the first to be buried at this spot. Now, on clear nights, urban legend says, you can sometimes see the green glow of his lantern or perhaps a green orb floating in the cemetery. Others report hearing what they say is the sound of a fiddle playing, yet you can never pinpoint exactly where the music is coming from. This has come to be known as the legend of the Fiddler's Green. The Darby Lee Cemetery is located in the woods behind the Riverview retirement community. Oh man.
They got those old people next to the cemetery.
Right. Looking at their future. Like
they can't even run from the ghosts. They're like, oh Lord, he's coming for me. My chair. About 100 feet behind the shed at the back of the lot. It's often overgrown and pitch black at night. So be careful chasing that green orb. Okay. So if we go to Riverview Retirement Community, I wonder if they'll let us go in the back and be like, oh yeah, how y'all doing, Mildred Blanche? And then we go straight to the cemetery, see what's going on back there. Shout out to Henry Darby, though, for looking out for the slaves. That's what's up, man.
Right.
It's like, yo, man, if y'all hear the fiddle, it's safe.
Right. I wonder, how'd they know? I guess it's just.
I don't know.
It's like a rumor. It's just like, yo, there's this guy. If you see him with the green.
But if somebody was on to him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's a hell of a signal, too. Like, he's playing the music again. They crossing.
Right. But apparently, because I also read that his fiddle and his like the visual of the green scared other people, like scared people away. So it would like the actual slave masters or whatever, the people who are looking for the slaves would actually be scared of the sound and the visual that he was putting out there. That's what I read, and I'm like, why is that scary? But I guess maybe there wasn't that many green lanterns out there, and they're like, what the hell is it?
Kind of creepy, ominous,
right?
What does this mean? Yeah, especially back then, you don't know nothing about tents and filters.
Right.
You just see light as a regular flame, and then all of a sudden it's green. I guess that would be creepy.
That would be creepy,
man. But that's good looking out, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need more people like him in the community. So if you ran across his ghost, he might be cool.
Right. Depending on who you are.
Get in on this freedom. I'm like, I'm already free. He'd be like, what? And he just start playing the fiddle because they don't understand. Yeah.
I want to go. I'm all for. Yeah, I want to see Henry Darby's ghost.
I'm down for that.
I feel like, and that's not like a scary thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like terrifying about him. It's not like.
Right. I would love to see like a green orb breezing through
or
the
even
woods.
I want to hear the fiddle.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
I kind of like the fact that we know that he means no harm.
Yeah.
And then like people can't pinpoint. I want to pinpoint it.
Yeah, find the location.
Right, I'd be over there.
Then he's standing there, ghouled out. Like, get in on this freedom. Then if you deny him the freedom, then he kills you. I'm just adding a little twist on it just to make it more, horror movie-ish.
Do you think he looks like he did then, or does he look like he does now? He's a skeleton.
I feel like he looks. He does now. I feel like he looks like he did back in the day.
Do you think about that?
I feel like he doesn't even show up visually. I just feel like the music plays and the orb.
Right.
I've been wondering how do ghosts decide how they're going to present themselves?
I think there's what's it called? There's like the reoccurring, which is just they're just repeating what they did in their real lives, and then there's the like smart ghost that is actually present and aware and sees us.
Right.
So he's probably just like a reoccurring.
Yeah. Like that movie Lady in White where the girl kept getting murdered.
Oh yeah.
Every night.
That's your movie.
Oh, that movie is creepy, man. If y'all ever seen Lady in White, you know what I'm talking about. It's a little creepy little movie. Little cute, creepy movie though.
Yeah, because when you had me watch it, I was like, this is creepy, but it was adorable.
Yeah, it was like it was a horror movie for kids, but it was creepy.
It was creepy.
We watched it in Vacation Bible School. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
That's weird.
To show a Vacation Bible School, but I couldn't sleep that night though. I'll tell you that.
But speaking of cemeteries, wait, hold on. I'm just gonna go back real quick. Do you ever think about? I mean, we actually had this discussion, so I know your answer. But like, you think about what somebody looks like in this very moment in the ground.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do they look like? Right. I think about that a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. I think about that with
a long time ago. What do they look like in that casket?
Right, because I think about that with like celebrities a lot.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson. Like, what's he looking like?
Dry.
Yeah.
He probably still looks like he did when he died.
He's probably
he tore his face up so much that everything's artificial, so he looks just like he did when he died.
Most likely, yeah, I could see that.
Completely preserved and fake.
Yeah.
That's how I picture him looking. And terrifying, because he was already terrifying.
Right.
Oh, the Michael dig up. I'm not ready for that. Dig up.
What you got?
Okay, so we got the Cincinnati subway tunnels. Now, when we were out there, we were looking for stuff that was like known to be haunted and stuff like that. And they had these subway tunnels where you can, they used to give tours on these tunnels, but then they tore down a lot of entrances to the tunnels. Mm-hmm. They said there were a few, but you had to know where the entrances were to really get in there. And so the Cincinnati subway tunnels are, the Cincinnati subway has been totally abandoned since the early part of the 20th century. In fact, it has never been in operation, considering its construction was never completed. So they started working on it like, yo, Cincinnati subway tunnels coming soon. and the townspeople was like, yeah.
Getting hype.
Subway. And then, they was excited back in the day. They had dress shoes on. It was excited. My feet hurt. And then they never finished the work. All work on the subway system ceased during the Great Depression. And the Great Depression was shutting everything down. It was like, the monies. We don't have the monies to continue. So they shut it down, the Great Depression. In the years that followed, the city went through a period of decline and work never resumed. Mm-hmm. So every so often somebody would suggest let's complete the project. Let's really finish Cincinnati subway. I can picture politicians saying that just to get votes.
Right.
Let's complete the subway, right?
Or
Cincinnati?
do something. Yeah.
And people was like, yeah, the subway. Mm-hmm. The same ancestors of the people that were excited back in the day.
The same exact people.
They was excited to get. My grandfather always wanted that subway. And then somebody suggested the incomplete Cincinnati line sat through the Great Depression and World War II, just sitting there, unfinished. Bridges, stations, and retaining walls along the surface stretches deteriorated to such an extent that a few items actually collapsed. Nearly everything above ground was bulldozed to make way for portions of the I-75 and the Norwood lateral in the 1950s and 70s. There are some who say that the real reason the tunnels have been abandoned, this is where it gets creepy, is that there is something paranormal running loose in those tunnels that has scared the developers away for good.
I believe it.
This is also the largest abandoned subway in all of North America. It attracts many urban explorers wishing to photograph the tunnels. Those who have been in the tunnels over the years report hearing footsteps in the dark, disembodied voices, moving shadows. Nope. Some have claimed to actually have been chased from the tunnels. Though you can see the entrance to part of the subway tunnels from I-75 near Halpel Street, the city has it sealed up pretty good. The city will prosecute you for trespassing if they catch you in there. Tight asses. They always with the tight assery. That's pretty creepy. Like if they really got chased out of there.
Right.
Like, we don't want you building in there. And
I wonder, but why? Like, where do they come from? I guess if you dig far enough, depending on what the land was before.
Right.
Because we always have to remember that before the Europeans came, Native Americans were everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have like traditional like cemeteries. They had burial grounds
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So we don't really know what they was digging up
Yeah.
and what could be down there.
And if it's a citywide tunnel system, I'm pretty sure they dug up and dug through some grave sites.
Right. Absolutely.
Certain people. So, you know, when you down there working, it's dark. It's
Mhm.
already creepy. And, you know, this is back in the day. They didn't have the lavish flashlights and lighting systems they have now. I mean, they had some light, but, you know, probably creepy down there.
The lanterns.
And then, you know, you working down there, man. It only take one incident to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying?
What
Something
kind of
chase
incident?
me out of the, you know, if I'm down there digging, you know, chiseling and working, and then I just see somebody standing at a distance in the subway tunnel, and immediately you're gonna think it's your boy Frank. Hey Frank, man, why you standing there, man? Quit creeping me out, man. And then you keep chiseling. Frank, man, let's get to work, man. And every time you look at Frank, he's getting closer and closer. You're like, all right, man, that's enough. And then you hear Frank on the other side, like, hey, Tony, man, it's almost lunchtime. And then you look back at the silhouette you've been watching the whole time, and it's steadily getting closer. Frank? And then you out of there, man. I'm done. I'm quitting my shift.
Right.
I'm done. But you need this job, Tony. It's the depression. Nah, man, forget all that.
It's the
I'm
depression.
out. I'm bootlegging. Because, you know, the Great
Right.
Depression, World War II came. I want to go in there and see, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And the disembodied voice just sounds creepy.
Right.
That sounds creepy, a disembodied voice.
Right. You know what? I've actually heard that. I've actually caught a disembodied voice on camera because I used to live in a really haunted apartment. And so I was like, oh, let me film my room. Let me record my room while I'm at work, while no one's home. And I heard a woman laughing. And then I've heard a woman in my room before.
Right.
I remember I told you I heard a woman say hey to me in that room. And it was kind of disembodied. But on the camera, like when you record it and you can play it back, oh, it was like, I was like, what? And it sounded as if she went up to the computer, like where I was filming from, and she like made sure that she was this close.
Oh.
And I was just like, nope. Disembodied voices are terrifying.
How loud was the hay?
The
Like,
hay,
give us the hay right here.
the
The
hay
exact volume.
was as far as Cam is. Cam's not that far from us, guys. He's like, what is this? Yeah, like 6 or 7 feet. It was like so close, and it was a very clear hey.
Ooh, breathy like that?
Yeah.
It was a female hay?
It was a female hey.
What's scarier to you, female or male ghosts?
Male, because every male situation I've ever, not situation, let me, before the men come for me, every male like presence that I've ever felt as far as ghost wise has either been really, really sweet or really, really evil. And I'm just like, I don't like it.
There's no in between. So the females give you more than in between?
Well, I think she was the only female that I've ever really encountered that wasn't related to me.
Oh, okay.
So she was just, she just died, and she's just like, hey, I'm here.
And I hear like a lot of the stories about, you know, female ghosts. Like the ghosts that my mom has experienced is like her relative, which is, you know, her aunt. And so, you know, it's female.
Right.
And so it's very warm energy, very
sweet.
like, yeah. And so.
And the reason you're here.
And the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
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 That's facts.
That's,
My mom told the story. So my mom told the story. She experienced like her, let me get it right. I'm going to cue up the exact thing that she said so I don't fumble it up. Because last time I fumbled up the information.
Yeah, when you were telling me.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony's existence is because of a ghost. So this whole podcast just makes sense. Like everything that the haunted, the ghost fascination, it all came together when he told me this. And I was like, okay.
Okay. So it was my. Oh, okay. So I was on, I think it was verbal cardio. I was talking about how my mom had saw, you know, my Aunt Louise or whatever. Well, not my Aunt Louise, like her Aunt Louise. So you got to, you know, trickle it on down. And I had fumbled on the names. And I was just like, oh, sorry, you know. And she said, let me get it right again. Shoot, I gotta find it. Okay, side note, Linda. Okay, boom. Boom, pow. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. So my mom, the great aunt, and she was taking some food to Aunt Louise. So she was talking about her Aunt Mary. Mary was the ghost. And so I was like, oh, my bad. And so I asked her, I was like, okay, I'm Fumbles McGee out here. Was that the only time you saw Aunt Mary? And, she's like, I've seen her several times and feel her presence often. The last time I saw Aunt Mary was when I found out that I was pregnant with you. And I was like, oh, how'd you see her? I was in the bed crying and asking God, what was I going to do and how I was going to make it? I looked at the foot of the bed and Aunt Mary was standing there, surrounded by a warm glow. She said, baby, this child is a gift from God and you will be such a blessing, saying that I would be a blessing. And then she said she fell asleep. And so I was like, wow, that is just.
And it's true.
And it's warm. You know what I'm saying? It was like a warm, ghostly presence.
Right. And you're a blessing.
I mean,
blessing people.
I'm blessed to be here.
With your laughter.
I'm blessed to be here. And without me, the Baker Boys wouldn't exist.
Oh, that's true. There's a lot, man. Shout out to Aunt Mary.
Aunt Mary came through with the bars.
Right.
Like, it's going to be all right, man. That little boy is a blessing.
Right. That's dope. I like that.
But I don't want to call myself a blessing. That's just.
Well, I'm going to do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
You're a blessing.
I appreciate it.
Tony gets so shy.
I mean, you don't know what to do during the, Anyway, what else is going on in Cincinnati, man? Get off.
So here we have the Stenton House. There's so I did get kind of confused because there's also a Stenton House in Philadelphia. So if any of this info is crossed over, but I made sure that it was the Cincinnati one that I was like writing up on. But it's, Stenton Mansion is also another name for it, but it's in Cincinnati. So I'm going to read you a little history. Dutch families were the principal founders of Old Cincinnati. This Victorian mansion was built in 1850.
That's a long time ago, man.
OD.
That's haunted.
That's OD. As a private dwelling. It turns out that in 1880, a young man committed suicide in the house.
Oh, here we go.
When his family left the house, the house remained vacant for years.
Mm-hmm.
It later became Ely School, a school for girls in the 1900s. Or in 1900. Legend has it that a young schoolgirl hung herself upstairs and another girl, a daughter of a doctor, was found murdered on the stairway. After World War II, this Victorian mansion was subdivided into apartments.
Here we go.
Would you live there?
Nah,
knowing all that history?
You know what I'm saying?
Knowing all that history? Even if it's really cheap, they're like, yeah, you want to rent this out? It's $200 a month.
$200 a month?
Yeah.
How many bedrooms?
3.
Ooh.
3 bedrooms, $200 a month.
I might have to chance that, man.
Ghost roommates.
I needed to say in the lease of the contract that I signed that if I gotta get the hell out of here, they let me go with no penalty. But I'll give it a shot.
It has to be a year contract.
A year contract? I mean, I'll stay in there for $200 a month. Yeah, if something goes down, I'm leaving. I'll still pay the rent because it's $200 a month. I'll be living elsewhere.
At one time, the Stenton family occupied one of the apartments in the mansion. Soon after the Stentons moved in, odd incidents began occurring. Phantom footsteps were heard walking in the hall, but no one was there. 2 weeks after they moved in, at precisely 2:10 a.m., they heard a heavy thump of something hitting the floor above them. The incident repeated itself. That's what we're talking about, repeated ghost. Always at 2:10 a.m. They discovered that the young man had killed himself in the room above their apartment.
Lord.
Other tenants have had supernatural experiences, including phantom footsteps following them around, disembodied voices in the halls, and the sounds of phantom objects hitting the floor. One of the tenants' dogs refused to go into rooms where spirit presence were manifesting.
Animals be knowing.
Oh, they be knowing. Apartment residents hear and experience various manifestations still to this day.
Look to your pets, people.
Yes.
Your pets be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Pets be knowing.
Yeah.
The debut album. Pets, man, if they just know.
It's true.
If your dog or your cat is scared to go in one area and you don't know why, it's not an area where you like, don't go in there. They just naturally be like, nah, it's something about it. Pay attention to that.
If they're crying, if they're visually scared, if their hair is sticking up or their tail is straight, like all those signs of fear or anger or whatever the case may be, and they're usually not that kind of animal. Pay attention.
Pay attention, man. I get it. Cats is kind of hard because sometimes they go crazy for no reason.
Like our cats, they just be staring sometimes. They just be
wild, and then but sometimes though when they got that fear or they just don't rock with a certain area, there's a reason. There's a reason, and that's creepy that they would hear the thump. Because that was probably like the suicide. Yeah. They would hear it night after night, 2:10 a.m. That's probably when they died, and they fell to the floor.
And they fell to the ground.
I don't know, man.
That's terrifying. And then 2 little girls.
Yeah.
Died in that building as well.
One suicide, one murder.
The fact that a little girl committed suicide.
Right. How little girls usually hang in there. Man, then when they become women, that's when they be like, all right, I'm done with this. But for a little girl to be like, I'm done already.
Yeah, that's in the 1900s. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Man, that's crazy.
It's just insane.
What would be super creepy? I'm always adding on to the story.
Always.
Just because what would be super creepy, though, you hear the 210 every night, do, 210, do. And then one night, 210, do. And then you just hear footsteps, just walking, and then you following the footsteps because you never heard it go this far before.
Right.
It's like, oh wait, we going further into the track, and so you just hear the footsteps, and you follow the footsteps in your apartment. They're above you, and then you hear the footsteps, and then you start to hear them come towards you, like they're coming down the stairs now. You just hear the footsteps. No visual. Right. So you look out your little door and then you hear the footsteps. And you know when somebody's on the steps because you hear them creak. The step creak is so precise. Yeah. Like you know when something's on those steps. Right. So you hear them coming. What do?
And then
you hear the steps creak. They coming towards your apartment. But the exit is toward those steps.
But imagine this. You stop. You hear the steps stop, right? All of a sudden stop. And then you hear the doo in your room.
Oh. Man. What do you
do? It's at the foot of your bed. You hear doo.
Oh, but you never left the bed.
You never left the bed. The door never opened. Nothing.
Oh, man.
It just, it's in your room.
So now you know it's in your room. What are you doing there, Mo? I know a lot of people resort to the cover up. I'm gonna just cover up and everything will be fine.
Why are blankets so protective?
It's something about the blanket,
why are they so supernatural repellents? Like,
oh man, I think I would teleport.
Oh yeah, I would. If there's a window at the top of my bed, hoping there is, I'm out.
Man,
I don't care what floor I'm on.
If I hear the thump and I gotta bust through the thump to get to the door. Knowing me though, like I just get the hell out of there. I would probably just run through the thump. Right. I'm out, man. If somebody's there, they getting cold tackled.
Right. Or if they grab me, I'm like, all right, I guess this is it.
Man.
I guess.
That's a scary scenario. I just scared myself with that one.
Right, because I'm really thinking about it like. And then when you hear the thump, you feel the bed shake. Like it's like. Something really heavy, and it's heavy.
But I was like, why did you come down here tonight?
Yeah, I would have.
You could have been down here.
I would have said the same
Why
thing.
Tonight? Who I?
Right.
Then, like, you got to kill yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Just out of. Because I don't know. That's creepy.
It's so we need to make a movie.
Hey, I'm down.
It's so creepy.
And horror movies are cheap to make, man. We can get one made and shot and done.
Oh, it'd be
horror movies are mad profitable, man, because
Yeah.
the low budgets.
right.
Okay, now they got the Elsinore Arc in Cincinnati on Gilbert Avenue, and we went to this actually.
Yeah, we did.
It's a grand romantic gesture. The Elsinore Arc was built in 1883, haunted, as a symbol of love and was modeled after the castle in Hamlet. This was a popular thing to do in the Victorian area. They loved to build medieval-style buildings. It is said that Elsinore Arc is haunted by the spirit of a mentally unstable gent who has convinced himself that he is an important European lord. He is not of noble birth, but acts as though he is. His apparition has been known to scream, "Kneel to me, peasant!" at everyone who sees it. Yo, that'd be scary. You sitting there eating the snack and then, "Kneel to me, peasant," and nobody's there.
But it's like right in front of
you. You done shook, your fries flew out of the bag. You like, wait, what?
Yo, so we went here, right? So I looked it up. We went. Total letdown.
Yeah, it was disappointing, man.
It doesn't look. It's like on a not a main road, but it's on a road right next to like.
It's popping over there.
Yeah, like
and it was right off of that.
And it wasn't deep in. You don't have to like really walk into it.
And the picture, when you look at the picture they have on like online of that arc, and then you look at the real arc, like the picture's super creepy. It's old. It's black and white. Then you look at it when we went, it was, it was in color.
It was in color.
It was real life. Yeah. It was put together. It just didn't feel old.
And it's so out of place where it was. It was just so out of place. Outer place. Out of place.
Outer place. The day
it didn't give us any vibe. Like, I'm sure because we didn't really get out the car for it either.
Nah, I'm sure we would have got out the car. Kneel to me, peasant.
Right. So when we do go back, maybe we'll
kneel. What if we kneel? Will we get knighted by this delusions of grandeur?
You just feel this.
Like, yes. Because he's in character. Like, he really believes he is a lord.
That's a funny ghost.
He might knight us.
That's hilarious. I mean, like, the fact that he thinks he's a noble. That's hilarious.
There's people like that running around all the time.
Oh, yeah,
they
absolutely.
think they part of a noble family. Like, you ain't even in the family lineage. Well, people was crazy back then.
Right. If anybody ever goes to any of these places that we are talking about, definitely send us photos, videos, or anything like that, because that'd be dope.
And put your Snapchat filter on.
Yeah.
To see if you see a dude, and then you'd be like, "Kneel to me, peasant."
That's something we do whenever we go to a haunted place. We do use Snapchat, and we use like a filter, like a dog or anything that like shows the face, whether it's like the glasses with the beard, that's a new one. And then you scan the area with your phone, and if all of a sudden the filter picks up a face, you might be in front of a ghost.
Yeah.
If you do this in your room right now and you pick up a face, my bad. Because now you're
Snapchat filter be giving ghosts away.
Right.
And the ghost be like, "They'll never know I'm in here." And then he got the fake mustache on. Like, damn it. Because I swear, when we went to that hotel in Vegas, that is the area where the filter popped up the most. And it was only in that hotel where it really did that. And in a certain hallway. And it was the old hallway. So the hotel, we're definitely going to do Vegas, of course. But this hotel, I don't know, I can't think of the name right now, but it burned down back in the day. And a lot of people, like hundreds of people died, right? It was like... It's where Bally's is now. Bally's, but it was something else then. It was the MGM. Yes. And it burnt down, and a lot of people died, and it's apparently it's very haunted, especially in a certain part of the hotel, because some of it is new, and so we walked around the especially the most haunted floor. Yeah. The filters was going crazy on that floor. Yeah, and we tested it out. We went to different spots, like different places, and the filters weren't really doing anything. And then when we were there, it was just like, it was terrible. It was only that floor. Yeah, and then sometimes we'll like have it facing us, and how you could do the double filter. Like, I would have a filter and something next to me would have the filter, and it'd be like... Those filters was going off. I ain't never seen that much filter action. It was creepy. Before or since. And it was like... And they were in my face. As I was walking, it was like...
So
And
crazy.
we'll get back to that on the Vegas.
Yeah,
episode.
we'll definitely
we'll dive further.
Okay, so
that.
this one, the next spot that I'm going to talk about, this is kind of a long one.
That's mad long.
Because this is quite the story, but we went here.
Yeah, we did go there.
So this is Lick Road in the Coleraine Township of Ohio. It is kind of outside of Cincinnati, but not too far because we were actually staying at a hotel up the block from Lick Road.
It's a little journey from Cincinnati.
A little bit, but it's not like over. I think it's like less than 30. I think it's 30 minutes.
About 30.
It's about 30 minutes,
yeah.
which is it's less than an hour. It's close enough for me. Okay, Lick Road is the name of it.
Lick.
Despite its name, Cincinnati's Lick Road is not a fun road to travel on. Despite its name.
Despite its name. Well, lick sounds like a good time.
I mean, catch a lick, I guess.
Lick, lick this ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Or get licked.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Lick Road doesn't sound intimidating.
It doesn't. It twists and turns its way through woods and past farmhouses before dropping you down a steep hill where the road suddenly ends right at the border of Hamilton and Butler counties. When we went, it was really creepy and it was like twisty and turny, and then the houses were just...
They were out there in the woods.
It was terrifying.
Some nice houses, but like in the woods. Stuff just looks different at night.
Oh, yeah.
In the daytime, I'm like, oh, this is a tranquility out here.
Right.
But at night.
And what's crazy, it wasn't far from like where stuff was happening. It wasn't far from like stores and stuff like that. It was almost as if you pass a whole bunch of stores and all of a sudden you're dead in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was super close to the hotel we were staying at.
Yeah.
And it wasn't far from the comedy club, and like the whole shopping area was right there. But
right.
You go down the road, make a right.
Dead in the middle of the woods.
Boom.
You go over this like little bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So there are signs posted stating that the area at the dead end is a park, but it certainly doesn't look like the place for a nice Sunday stroll. But if you can shake off the overwhelming feeling of dread and ignore the occasional gunshot blast from someone target practicing nearby, that's terrifying. You just might be able to uncover a secret or two about the legends associated with this road. You see, no one is really sure what happened here on Lick Road, but whatever it wasn't pretty, and it involved a woman named Amy.
Oh, Amy.
I feel like Amy, you don't hear a lot of ghosts named Amy.
Nah.
I feel like
it'd be like Mary's the top name.
Mary's the number one ghost.
That's the
name.
number one name for a ghost.
I
had a dream about Bloody Mary.
Really?
I just thought about that.
Recently?
Last night.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh. Let me go into it before I forget.
Yeah.
I had a dream. You went in the bathroom and you were going to really do Bloody Mary, like for real, and focus. Y'all don't know this about Sabrina. It takes her a long time to do stuff. So, like, if she's planning on going somewhere to do something or leaving the house, she'd be like, all right, I'm going to go. And she'll lay around for a while and just scroll. And so she was doing her usual, like, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to really do Bloody Mary with the focus. And she kept asking me, when you did it, what'd y'all do? I was like, it was all silly. We wasn't that focused. And she was like, all right, I'm going to do this for real. Like, she was just doing her lollygag. And then she went into the bathroom and closed the door. And I was outside like, man, I wonder what's going on in there. And then I don't remember what else happened. So I don't know. I'm sorry I built you up for this, but... I don't know.
I was all in. Yeah. I was like, what's going to happen to me?
I don't know. Because I never got a chance to go. Because I kept waking up to make sure I didn't oversleep. And so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Don't just oversleep and finish the dreams, please.
I don't know what happened to you. I know you finally went in there to do it. But knowing you was probably in there taking a dump, doing your hair.
With Bloody Mary.
We
were having a conversation.
I opened the door. She doing your hair. Looking.
While I'm sitting on the
she
toilet.
She got bloody tears looking at and then she go back to doing your hair.
I'll be like, babe, get out.
It's like that scene in The Shining where they opened one of the hotel room doors and there was two people in there and they had masks on.
And
they just looked at him. He was like, sorry, guys. Just nothing was said. It was like, all right. Anyway.
What if tonight...
I'm not doing Bloody Mary in the crib.
What if when we're laying down and you turn over to me, I am Bloody Mary? That's how the dream ends.
I'm gonna just go back to sleep and be like, you know what? I ain't got time for it. Because sometimes if you act like you ain't see nothing, sometimes the ghost will be like, damn it. Then they pack up their little ghost belongings and leave.
That's how it is.
So maybe I'll be like, all right, and then I turn back over. Maybe turn Netflix back on.
Tony sleeps with his back towards me. Like, he always has to sleep on his side. What if I'm like, reach over you and it's just a decrepit hand and long fingernails and
I'll just be like, I'll just hold the hand, like, all right, give you a pat,
like
support,
you usually do,
and then just
just
go back
act
to
like
sleep. The real scary part for you is, what if, because you never see my face, what if I turned around and then I was Michael Jackson?
I don't know. I'd ask you a lot of questions. Like, are you actually Michael? I'd be like, why?
You'd be like, I'm here for you.
So one thing about me, yes, Michael Jackson got really scary looking towards the end, but I was never like terrified of him.
Man, that face, man.
I was like, he's still Mikey. Like,
I
so
can't
stupid.
do that face, man.
No, it definitely, I don't want to wake up to it, but
It's old Michael. I mean, it's
old
new Michael.
I could do old Michael.
Old Michael, you would probably smash. But new Michael, I'm talking new Michael.
All right, yeah, that's pretty. No nose.
No nose.
Oh yeah, the no nose part is
white
where
as a sheet.
that's where I tap out.
And he had the little scruff, the little facial hair.
No.
That's the Michael you waking up to on the turnaround.
Wait, waking up to in the morning?
Like it looks like me, and then he
I could do
turns
the morning.
around as full Michael.
But if it's in the middle of the night, I'm out.
Oh, because the nighttime.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to Lick Road. That's terrifying. Depending on the age of the person you ask, you will get one of 3 stories about what happened on Lick Road to cause it to become haunted. About the only thing the stories have in common is a woman named Amy meeting her violent, untimely demise. The 3 most popular legends are: on prom night, Amy and her boyfriend decided to park at the end of Lick Road for a little post-prom romance. Smash. Unfortunately, the evening ended with Amy being raped and killed inside the car by her boyfriend.
Oh, what?
Lord.
What kind of boyfriend is this? His name was Steve, for sure.
Amy and Steve.
Steve.
And then here's another story. While Amy was out for a little moonlit stroll one evening, she was attacked by an unknown assailant. Although in some versions it's her stepfather, which makes it even scarier, I guess. Amy attempted to escape by running into the woods at the end of Lick Road. She barely made it into the woods before her assailant caught and killed her.
Hey, man.
Amy, all these stories.
This is all bad.
Amy probably died a very normal. She probably choked on like candy or something.
She had an aneurysm while checking the mail.
And like now she's reading all like, guys, what?
Yeah. Now they like, her boyfriend raped and killed her on prom night. Who's doing this on prom night?
Her boyfriend.
Before the prom.
Oh yeah, because it is post prom. Wow.
Oh, it's after.
Oh wait. Oh
That's
yeah,
after,
pre-prom.
So it was after prom night. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
A
little liquor.
Yeah, he could have been drunk. He was already the jock. Drunk.
Right.
He had a violent temper. And Amy, she didn't put out. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was like,
a good girl.
No, you know what I'm saying? I'm down for the makeout, but I don't want to go all the way. And then Steve pushed the envelope, got mad, and then it felt like he went too far with it. And then, like, you going to ruin my career, you going to ruin my life. And then
he didn't want to get Me Too'd.
He killed her.
Which is way worse than getting Me Too'd.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And the last story is Amy was killed by yet another unknown assailant on nearby West Kemper Road. The killer then dumped her body at the far end of Lick Road. Regardless of which version of the legend you hear, they all end with Amy's ghost haunting the end of Lick Road and the adjacent woods. Damn, the whole woods. How she chooses to do that, again, varies, but there are two very popular ways which are interchangeable with the above mentioned legends. In one version, Amy's ghost simply floats through the woods and along the dead end of Lick Road, occasionally crying out for help or simply screaming at the top of her lungs. That's the version we heard, and that's why we went. We remember we went to go, we like stopped on the little bridge thing.
Yeah.
We turned off everything just to hear if we could hear somebody scream.
Right.
We didn't hear nobody. But then again, we never left the car. We don't be leaving the car too much. I mean, it's kind of my fault. I be scared.
Sabrina be panicking,
I as much as I love all of this, and I love to be scared.
Oh, you don't?
Yes, I do.
No, you
I love
don't.
to be scared, but I only take it so far.
Man, you
Like,
like
I
to
love-
be scared within the safety of the
Yes.
nestled safetyness.
So you still said I love to be scared.
To
I
really
like to
get in
safely
there
be scared.
to the nitty gritty, though.
Let me safely be scared in peace. Don't be judging me.
And then she be making me nervous because she's so panicky.
I know, I really do.
You know, and so I'll be like, you know what, just forget it.
I be getting scared.
I need soldiers that's going to be calm, even though we scared.
I mean, I'll be going though. It'd be different. Like it's
You won't let me get out the car?
because I worry about you. I don't want anything to get attached.
What's
to
Amy
you.
going to do? She going to scream in my face. I'm going to be like, okay, fair enough. And I'm going to get back in the car.
Okay. Anyways.
And mash out.
Oh, and this is another story we heard. The creepier way she sometimes chooses to make contact involves her leaving a message on your car. It is said that if you park the car at the end of Lick Road, lock it, and then walk away. When you return to the car, not only will your car's windshield be fogged up, but the words "help me" will be written in condensation from the inside.
Oh, wow.
That's mad scary.
Yo, that means she broke in
Mm-hmm.
and then breathed. She was like, I mean, she got hot breath still, and then wrote "help me."
Right.
What if when we took the rental car back
Uh-huh.
and we were just like, all right, you know, we were walking and then we just saw Amy written with the dust on the back of the car.
I'd feel like that was some kid doing it.
Well, yeah, because they know about the legend.
Yeah.
I would do that. Like if I was a kid that lived in that neighborhood,
I would freak people
any
out.
car, I would just be like, Amy,
Help me.
Yep, I would do all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, man.
I would do that.
If I lived in a place with like legends like this, I'd be like,
I would put
I'd
Amy
scream.
on the back window.
I'd do all of these things. Like, yeah, you came for a good time. Start screaming, help me. Oh yeah, if I stop screaming and screaming happens
Oh, that's
right next to
scary.
me, and I'm like,
Amy be
my
like,
bad.
let me show you how it's done. And then you look over, she looking at you. But she having a good time because she's happy somebody's with
Yeah,
her.
she's like, this is fun, but it's only like torso
Yeah.
up.
Let
There's
me
no
show you
other
how
part
it's
of her
really
body.
done. Oh, snap. I'm scaring myself with this story. Because I know what it looks like out there for real.
Yeah, it's
creepy.
really creepy over there. Okay, as if Amy's tortured spirit hadn't suffered enough.
Man, Amy, man. I'm
Another story popped up recently
sorry. Ugh,
that connects Amy with an old abandoned bridge located in the woods
of course.
off Lick Road. That's the
course.
bridge that we stopped on.
Ugh.
The story says that if you stand in the middle of the bridge and shout, Amy, I have your baby.
Have your baby.
I have your baby. That her ghost will appear and chase after you. The reason why she does this is unclear, although some say Amy is angry at having been killed before she was able to have a child. So her ghost considers what you're shouting to be your way of mocking her. That's okay.
Amy, I got your baby. Oh, you son of a bitch. Y'all just running through.
But there are a
woods.
few people who says Amy's ghost comes after you because in life Amy secretly gave birth to an illegitimate child that she killed by throwing it off the bridge. So her ghost comes after you because you know her secret.
Oh, my God.
Amy's out here.
Amy's creepy, man.
Amy's gone through a lot.
Which story is real?
Right. And how does one know?
And Steve, he the one that got her pregnant. I'm
Right.
sick of him.
What if his name's really Steve?
His name is Steve, for sure. It's always Steve.
I wonder if you can.
Anytime the boyfriend pulls up with the shenanigans, it's Steve. Man, dog. I don't have the guts to put that to the test.
Oh, she was 30 years old.
Oh, she was a grown woman. So the prom story is out.
Thing. Yeah, the prom thing.
The prom story is out.
Is out.
Unless she failed, she got held back.
A lot. Or unless it's one of those, like, they have this thing called vegan prom for adults. Maybe it was like an adult prom.
Nah, that's dumb.
Lick Road is home to the legend of Amy, a 30-year-old woman said to have been killed by her boyfriend. I'm looking for the boyfriend's name, though.
Mm-hmm. We already know his name. There's 2 first names. Steve Michael. That's his name. This was in the 70s?
Oh, the likely start of this legend is the death of 15-year-old Linda Dyer on August 25th, 1976. My birthday's August 25th. Oh, it's August 24th. Dyer was hitchhiking, at 15, near North Bend Road and was picked up by 2 men in a 1975 Volkswagen. Damn, this was before your time. A year before your time. Yeah. The following day, her body was found under a bridge at the corner of Crest and Banks Road, which is close to Lick Road. The autopsy revealed that she had been stabbed and strangled to death, but due to lack of blood around the body when she was found, it was determined that she had likely been killed elsewhere and her body dumped there. Her killers were never found, so while this didn't occur at the bridge on Lick Road, the
page went dark, y'all. The page went black. That
was weird.
Oh, okay.
That was super weird. I don't even remember where I was. So while this didn't occur at the bridge on Lick Road, the location and details of her death are close enough to the legend of Amy to believe that her death was the origin of this ghost story. So Amy might actually be Linda. Or unless there's a lot of people who just died.
See, now I want to go to the actual library in that area and look at old paper clippings. And you know how they do the research in the library. They're looking at the microfiche and they turn in the thing and the articles to see if this is a real murder.
Well, apparently Linda Dyer, they're giving us dates.
Yeah, they do have a date.
Let me see.
August 24th, 1976.
Linda Dyer, August 24th.
Linda Dyer obituary. Oh, that's Fort Lauderdale. Oh, you looking at photos, huh?
Oh, yeah, look, that's actually her. Of another serial killer. Ooh.
The specter of a serial killer?
I don't know.
Wait, they didn't mention serial killer.
Yep. The specter of another serial killer in Cincinnati was raised by an unsettling headline that appeared in the April 16th, 1978 Enquirer. Murder victim. Wow, look at all these.
Yo. Mad victims up in here.
Man. We might have to also include serial killers into this podcast. I mean. We need this. This is crazy.
I mean, it's all part of the.
It's haunted.
Because like, John Wayne Gacy's house, somebody lives there now.
Yeah.
I mean, they tore down the house that he lived in, but like, it's a nice looking house.
Yeah, it's the same land.
Like, I looked at it and I was like, you got to be will of steel to move in that house.
Right. And knowing
what went on there, right. Murders in there, multiple murders, buried underneath the house.
Right. Into the house. Like, it's like
in the crawl
foundation.
Space?
Yeah.
And I know they have a basement because it's Illinois. So I'm like, man, listen. The house is nice though from the outside. I wanna interview that family. Like, yo, y'all don't be tripping,
right?
You know what went on here,
right?
Don't give me that. I just don't think about it. I would think about it 24/7.
That'd be on my mind every time I'm home.
John Wayne Gacy killed mad dudes, and
people.
Buried them there,
and dressed as a clown.
Well, no, he wasn't killing while he was.
But still, I don't care about the killing and dressing. I don't care if it's separated. He's still dressed as a clown.
He did dress as a clown.
That's terrifying. There's actually a Facebook comment that says, Linda Dyer was my neighbor. My sister and her were good friends. Very scary to think that what could have happened if my sister had been with her that night she disappeared.
Whoa, snap.
They both were a little wild, but she certainly never deserved to die.
Of course not.
Right.
Why was she hitchhiking? Where was she going? Mm-hmm. Probably like, I'm out of here, Mom. And then
that's terrifying. I remember one time I was probably like 8 years old. I ran away from home. I hid in the closet.
Yeah.
I hid it.
You kept it safe.
I hid in my mom's closet. I was like, she'll never find me. She'll get worried. She'll think that I'm gone forever. She never looked for me, and I got hungry. So.
And then you came out.
And then I came out for food.
She cooked that day?
That my grandmother did, and that's what hit me. Like the smell hit me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop running away now.
Your mom never even knew the stand she made.
She never knew.
She never realized she was that mad.
And it was a walk-in closet, so it was pretty big.
Yeah.
And I was hiding behind everything, and I had my little toys. I had my trolls, and I was like, and then I got hungry, and I'm like, okay.
Was you playing with the trolls in there?
Yeah, and I was crying. I was like, I'm never coming out. I was like, but I was trying to be quiet and crying because I wanted her to get worried.
That's mad funny.
She never left
even
the couch.
got the chance to.
She never left the couch.
She just saw you going into the kitchen like getting your plate.
With a tear.
Like, there she is, getting her plate. Had no clue that you ran away into the walk-in closet. Forever. Forever.
Right. Anyways. Okay, guys. So that's the end of this episode.
So why don't we do this? Since we did Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody is familiar with the Cincinnati area or you got some stories to tell from Cincinnati, hit us up.
You can email us at It's Haunted out here at gmail.com.
Yeah. And then send in your Cincinnati story or even like close to Cincinnati, the surrounding areas. Because we'll probably do a separate episode for Cleveland.
Right.
Or
send in any city that you're like, you live in, you're near, whatever. Wherever you're from, send in your story. We're going to eventually get to your state, city, whatever. We'll eventually get there. If you're not in a major city, just tell us in the email what city you're nearby. And then when we do that city, we'll include your story at the end. And also,
don't be just making up stuff though.
Don't make stuff up. We're not going to read everything.
Don't be making up an extravagantly false story.
And if you have photos or video evidence, please send that in. Mm-hmm. And also if they're fake, we'll know.
Will we?
We have a whole team behind us.
We got a team.
It's just me and Cam. I'm gonna send them to Cam. Yeah. Be like, verify this. Also, it's October 1st, which is very exciting, and it's a good day to start this podcast. Also, we are actually going on a road trip in a few weeks. A very exciting road trip. We will be going to Salem, Massachusetts, where we'll be filming where the witch trials happened. Mm-hmm. A lot of haunted stuff out there, obviously. Massachusetts is old and scary.
And haunted.
And we will be driving to Maine, Portland, Maine, where a lot of Stephen King's stories stem from. And it also seems really creepy out there. And then after that, we'll be in Connecticut. So these are all really creepy places. We'll be filming. Where are we going to post it?
Some will be on my Patreon. Some might be on YouTube. It'll be scattered throughout.
It'll be scattered.
Majority probably be on the Patreon.
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, definitely join Tony's Patreon. And yeah, that's all I got. You got anything?
Oh, that's it, man. Tune in, tell your friends, spread the word. And we're going to get this going, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Excited.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Stay spooky.
It's haunted out here, y'all.
It is.